Howdy everybody, Omar, your audio amigo here with another quick showcase video for y'all. This time we're looking at an upgrade cable from our friends over at AngelEars. This here is the AngelEars Scorpion. It's available in both 3.5mm and 4.4 balanced flavors. It's priced at $40, with the 4.4 version being $1 more at $41. I'm not much of a cable guy, but they sent this as sort of a sorry that your Yukimi cable was broken present, so I figured why not take a closer look at this one. Quick disclaimer, as I just mentioned, they sent me this cable sort of for free included with the cable from the Yukimi. I'm not being paid for this review, but because this has monetary value and I could turn around and sell it if I wanted, I have activated the paid promotion feature here on YouTube. I do these disclaimers because I believe in full transparency, especially when there's potential bias besides my own personal tastes at play. Thanks again to AngelEars for sending this out. That being said, let's move on. So let's see how this comes packaged. It came inside this clear clamshell case. It's pretty solid, has a simple sort of AngelEars logo there on the top. The inside is, again, simple plastic. The bottom is a slightly different texture to the top. This is smoother. This is maybe a tiny bit grippier. There isn't any sort of gasket to seal. It does have a lip, and the top sort of fits into it, but that didn't stop me from testing if this case was watertight. So I stuck some folded up paper towels on the inside, closed it up, turned the sink on, and ran it under the tap for a few minutes, then stopped, opened it up. The paper towel was completely dry, so took it to the next level, filled the sink with water, threw it in, it floated, obviously, but that wasn't enough, so I went ahead and held it underwater, like that with my fingers for 3 minutes, and then I pulled it back out to check. This time, the paper towel was wet, and was wet here along the back, closest to this hinge mechanism here. So that's probably where the water found its way in. So what I will say is, while this case is water resistant to a certain point, it certainly isn't watertight or waterproof. So now that my curiosity has been satisfied, let's take a closer look at the included gear. Seeing as this is a cable, you don't get too much. You get a AngelEars branded sort of Velcro cable tie, and you get a protective cover for the 4.4 or 3.5mm jack, whichever one you get. This is a cable. It's exactly what I expect in terms of accessories, and I honestly kind of dig this case. I think it's kind of nice. So let's get into the cable itself. This is a 4-wire weave that splits into a 2-wire weave at the Y-split. AngelEars has used 90 strands of oxygen-free copper in each wire, making for 360 total strands of oxygen-free copper. And I think they're keen to show off that oxygen-free copper because it's a very simple, clear rubber coating on the conductors, and you can actually see them individually in there. I dig it. It's kind of like a rustic look. The rubber coating at a distance, okay, let me put it a bit further away, does make it look a bit plasticky and shiny, but in some lighting conditions it does, and it's darker, it's not as bad. But overall, I think this gives very polished copper energy, especially up close, which is kind of nice. As I mentioned, this is available in 3.5mm single-ended or 4.4mm balanced connectors. Get some subtle AngelEars branding there on the connector. Instead of a strain relief, they have a sort of cable comb thing holding the 4 wires into the connector. The Y-split is unbranded, but it is also metal and is quite nice. It does collect fingerprints a bit. The chin slider is very functional thanks to the rubberized coating on the wires. So looking at this cable, my original instinct was to put this on my Dunu DaVinci, since I thought that the sort of reclaim, sort of driftwood type aesthetic would look nice with the copper. But the DaVinci uses recessed 2-pin sockets, and these 2-pin connectors are, if the FiiO will let go here, these are flush mount 2-pin sockets, and they did not work with my Dunu DaVinci. So if you have an IEM with recessed 2-pin sockets, these will not work. But I pivoted, and these had just recently come in, so I went and grabbed the walnut finish on the FiiO Ep.3, and this has been what I've been using to test the cable. I still think it looks quite nice, the sort of rustic copper with the walnut. Maybe not as nice as on the DaVinci's wood, but still pretty good. Lastly, I did test microphonics. I didn't really encounter any microphonics wearing these normally, but these 2-wire twists attached to the ear hooks do tend to be a tiny bit microphonic compared to just a single wire. They aren't, however, as bad as something that's covered in cloth or nylon, and I could really only get it by running my fingers along the wires like this. So I'm not going to hold that against this because, like I said, basically every cable with this design will be microphonic if you treat it in that way. I didn't have any issues wearing this with collared shirts either. The microphonics were there, but not prominent at all. As you can see, the cable behaves quite well. So specifications, pretty typical for a cable. Already mentioned, this is 360 strands of oxygen-free copper, 90 for each wire. The total length on this is 1.2 meters in length. That's a little under 4 feet for those of us Imperial folks. The plug, as I've mentioned, you get a choice of 3.5 or 4.4, and you have your choice of this flush 2-pin connection or MMCX on the IEM end. So there's no Pentacon, no QDC, and no recessed 2-pin. In terms of performance, I did measure the resistance on all 4 conductors with my multimeter, and they all averaged around 0.4 to 0.5 ohms, which is in line or, about the same as the stock cable that comes with the FiiO. So overall, pretty standard cable, nothing too crazy. Let's briefly talk about sound quality. I did compare this cable, AB, with the stock cable on the FiiO Ep.3, and other than the volume boost from switching to a balanced connection, I really couldn't tell much of a difference in sound quality between these two. FiiO says this is also OFC copper in here, so I really didn't expect there to be a difference, especially after I measured the resistance. Yeah, like the difference between the conductors here and the conductors here, they were either the same or there was like 0.1 ohm of difference here. So at least on the Ep.3 and its stock cable, I wouldn't expect a night and day difference just by swapping the cable to the Scorpion. But, would I recommend the AngelEars Scorpion? If you have an IEM that has, flush mount 2-pin or MMCX connectors on it, you want something that has a, in my opinion, quite nice, rustic copper-y design, I would say go for it. The pricing on this at $40 is in line with other cables of this design and quality, and tends to go on sale pretty often. I think I saw it for $20 on the Black Friday sales. So for that price, you really can't go wrong. It behaves, it feels nice in the hands. I will say, as far as I go, I buy cables based purely on looks, lengths, and what connectors they have attached to them. For me to recommend this, all I had to do was not sound worse than the stock cable and not have horrendous microphonics or cable behavior. And as you can see, it behaves decently well. The microphonics were fine. Yeah, so I would say if you're watching this and you like how this looks, I'd say go for it. If, however, you're looking for something with swappable terminations, or you want something that will fit an IEM with recessed 2-pin sockets, or you want something a little bit more understated than the sort of shiny, rustic copper look, I'd look elsewhere. But that's my second ever cable-related showcase video in the books. Sorry if you guys didn't care about the water ingress testing on the case. I was curious, and when something like that happens, I just got to go for it. Do you guys like cable videos? I have a pretty small collection that I can talk about in a quick video like this, if y'all would like. I'd love to pull out the multimeter and see what the resistances are like. But that's it for the moment. Let me know if you want more cable videos like this. I appreciate all your continued support. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Omar with AudioAmigoReviews, and I will catch y'all next time.